All right, we're live.
Hey.
Hey.
Welcome back, John.
Hey, I'm here. Hello. I was gone for a week.
Yeah, down
PAX.
in Boston.
Boston.
I was just about to do that.
I got an email today from one of the event coordinators I was at, and they also did the same thing in text. I'm just like, is this just as accepted? Is this just what you do? You just say Boston?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they know about the accent for sure. How
Yeah.
could you not?
They do.
Oh, that accent kind of rules. That accent rules.
It can. It can be real annoying too. Depends on the person, I guess. Like most things.
How was the trip?
Not bad. We went down and visited my my mother-in-law for a little bit. We saw my uncle-in-law as well. Had a good time with them. Then we took the train over to Boston and hung out there. I wasn't at the con very much, so unfortunately, when we talk about games at the con, it's gonna be like 2 games.
Okay.
Okay.
But we had Throne Controllers was Friday night, and then Sunday night we had a traveling show. So that's where we have another Throne Controller show, but we also have our friends that do a concert for us as well. So
Okay.
that was at the Hard Rock Cafe in Boston, so that was neat.
Cool.
Okay, right. Did you guys have? I guess we should like talk about it in order. So let's talk about like PAX first and Boston.
All right.
But yeah, tell us how PAX went. PAX East.
PAX went all right. Like I said, wasn't there for 2 of the 4 days. One was because of the traveling show, and one was just getting Throne Controllers ready. What little bit I had there was pretty good. Our hotel was super nice. It was much closer to the con than normal, but we didn't have the coveted Westin. That's just like the goal hotel, basically.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the Westin is literally attached to the convention center.
Nice.
So you can actually just walk right in there. But of course, it's the only hotel within like half a mile. So it's a pain in the ass to get there. And it's almost always reserved for like the exhibitors and stuff.
Maybe like San Antonio, where I went for PAX South, there's those like motor scooters everywhere, so you can just scoot around.
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Also, it was Boston at the end of February. It was way warmer than usual, but I've been there before and we've been just covered in snow. So I'm surprised this was the one year where it was actually surprisingly warm.
Global warming.
Yay.
Yay.
Con itself was good. They had a lot of like vendors pull out because of the coronavirus scare.
Right.
So
Yeah.
like Sony just straight up wasn't there. Square canceled their panels, but they still had a booth there. A couple other smaller indie devs and stuff had their booths. They didn't show up, so their booths were empty.
What was the like general feelings around the coronavirus at PAX? Did it like come up in conversation? Was there like signs about it?
I get the feeling enforcers weren't allowed to talk about it.
Yeah.
So
that's weird.
yeah, probably because they didn't want to like incite a panic or anything.
Okay.
We saw a lot of people wearing face masks.
Sure.
And there were a lot more like hand sanitizer stations than usual.
Nice.
And like the bathrooms seem to have a lot of people washing their hands and stuff like that. Like the bathrooms seem pretty busy.
That's good. People should wash their hands.
They really should.
Yeah, regardless of coronavirus.
Put out like they did a survey. I forget where this was exactly.
Yes or no? Like, do you wash your hands?
That's pretty much what it was, and it was like 32% of males said yes, and it's just like, what the fuck?
Only 32% said yes.
It was like a stupid low number. I'm like, that's disgusting.
That's awful. Wow. Okay. Well, thanks, dudes.
But yeah, no, the con itself was otherwise fine. It was PAX. It is what it was. They had like a speed running like area this time around. They had a stage there where a bunch of people from like GDQ were there doing like mini talks. They were showing off how to speed run games. But they had their usual stages, like they had their like the Just Dance stage, Jackbox stage, et cetera, et cetera. So it was pretty good.
Did you buy some stuff?
Yeah. I was on the show floor for a while, but I was mainly picking up games for the collection. So I got like a bunch of Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games, some rarer stuff that I saw down on the show floor. I got this really cool shadow box of Turtles in Time. So it's got like the 4 turtles fighting a bunch of Foot Clan members. It's neat.
Right on.
Trying to think of what else I got that was cool. I think that was more or less it. It was mainly focusing on getting games for the collection and just kind of hanging out, saying hi to people.
And the collection that's the name of the museum? Is that what you're implying?
Sure.
Okay. All right. Well, there you go. I heard it first.
That's why that's there. It's just a collection.
That's the subtitle of the museum name. What's the worst thing you bought?
Room service, because man, that was expensive.
Okay, what was this room service like? Where'd you end up? What was the hotel you couldn't get the Westin?
We ended up at the Boston Harbor Hotel, I think it was. Like it's a really nice hotel right on the bay.
And quote here, Proton John says Boston Harbor's room service sucks.
No, the room service was delicious. It was just crazy expensive.
Okay, so not worth the price.
Like $30 for a burger expensive.
That's insane.
That is insane. Yeah. It was a tasty burger and a big burger, but it was an expensive burger. So we like did it once.
Was it like a special burger?
Not
two
really.
Patties, gold foil.
No. One big patty, fancy bun. I mean, you could get the seafood ones. Those are even more expensive.
$30. I want at least 2 burgers.
It was one big patty. It was like a full inch patty or something like that. I forget what the actual
$15-16 is my limit on what I'll spend on a burger.
15? Yeah, that's fair.
Yep. That's my max. What about you, Paul?
For like a gourmet thing, 25 to 30 is not unreasonable. If you're going to like a
fancy guy over here.
If you go to like a fancy restaurant. That being said, normally
I won't burger.
Yeah, exactly. I like burgers. What do you mean?
Sure.
Yeah. Otherwise, like anything over $10 is crazy for like basically anywhere else for a burger.
Yeah, the only time I pay more than that is if it's like super fancy or if they let you add on like a bunch of crazy stuff.
Sure.
There's one burger place we go to where it's like, oh yeah, throw on like an extra patty, guacamole, bacon,
right?
Just like go crazy on it.
And then you're actually paying for the toppings. You're not really paying for the burger anymore.
Right. I mean, that's
a
different scenario. Yeah.
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 Right on. Okay, so Hard Rock Cafe. Do you guys like when you put on this show at the Hard Rock Cafe, do you like rent it out or are there regulars in there too wondering what's going on in the corner?
Rent it out.
Okay. That's less fun. Okay.
But like, no, well, now here's the thing. This was a restaurant and also like the show place. I forget it was the Cavern Club, I think was the name of the actual place where we had the show, but it was attached to the Hard Rock.
Okay.
So you could walk into the Hard Rock and just get food, and then you would hear us like running the show in the next room over.
Shouting about video games.
Yeah, exactly.
Which are neither hard nor rock and roll related for the most part.
But they were very cafe.
Sure.
Uh-huh.
But then again, during PAX, like I'm sure anyone going to the Hard Rock Cafe like is into video games.
No, you'd be surprised. It was pretty normal people there from what I saw.
Okay. No utility-kilts? I guess it's true. Do you still get utility-kilts in the winter?
I don't think they even have a booth. I did not see them this year.
They have a booth?
I think
I'm just talking about like people walking around wearing them.
Oh, no, I haven't seen anyone wearing a utility kilt in a while, but like they used to have a booth.
Okay.
I know they've had them at PAX West before.
Yeah.
Sure. I saw people wearing utility kilts at South. There was no booth though. Right on. Well, how'd the live show go?
Live show went good. We had I think it was 200 tickets were available. We sold out. We had a little VIP thing before for those who bought a VIP ticket. You just hung out.
What does a VIP ticket get you?
You get in earlier. We were going to do a Q&A session, but we turned it into a meet and greet. So basically we just kind of all separated and just chatted with people in the room.
Okay.
So, and they got to get seated early. They got to take the nice seats up front, etc. They got a signed poster from us as well. And like, it was a nice cool thing there.
That's a lot. So what's the price difference on these tickets?
50 versus 15.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. Seems like a good deal. $50, sure.
Yeah.
That'll get you into PAX for a day.
No, it won't actually.
Aren't
They're like
the day passes $50?
65.
Oh, weird.
Uh,
South was
shit.
$50, and I remember PAX West last time I went. Those were 50, weren't they?
Oh, sorry, they are 60.
60.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thursday, yeah, each day separately is $60, and getting the 4-day pass is $225. So it's a savings of $15. But if you want to do BYOC, which is the bring your own computer thing, it's an extra $35. Oh, and plus taxes. There's also tax on top of that.
Sure. Well, cool. Good job.
Yeah.
When's the next live show?
Not 100% confirmed yet, but it's looking like it'll be in Atlanta in May. Because that's when we're doing MomoCon there, so we'll have the normal thing, and we might be having a satellite show on top of that, but we don't have everything locked down yet. We're looking into doing that.
Nice. And you said there's like a concert portion to this?
Yeah, we have our friends Family Jules and Adriana. They both perform. Jules is a guitarist.
So is
and
it
Adriana's
always the same concert people, or is it whoever's local?
Same concert people, because usually they also show up at the same con. So we're just like, hey, do you want to get paid and like have fun? They're like, sure.
Nice, cool. Any plane mishaps?
Not really. It was a rough, like some turbulence. That's about it. We had bad seating on the way in, like we weren't sitting next to each other. And then on the way back, we had like some super nice seats. We ended up on the Dreamliner that WestJet now has. We ended up in like the premium seats, but not like the business class seats, like with a step before the nice one. So they gave you like, they actually served you meals. You had like leg room. You had like a giant,
would
like
be so nice.
You had like a 13-inch TV or something like that attached to the chair in front of you. It had like a recliner portion, all this other jazz. Like they're hella nice seats.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm glad the trip was good. Paul, how was your last week?
It's been good, just catching up on TV shows. I started watching that one you were talking about last time, that Nickelodeon Netflix show.
Oh yeah, me too. Do you like it?
I don't know. I watched the first episode because it was like kind of double long. It was like a 44-minute thing or something.
Yeah, the rest are all like 22 or whatever.
So I was like, okay, let me think about that one for a while. I had other shit to watch anyway. I don't know.
It's okay. For
I'll give
the
it
show, by the
another
way,
one.
we should mention in case people forgot, Glitch Tex.
Glitch
is a
Tex.
Netflix Nickelodeon joint.
It's very
It's
clean.
okay. I'm not
looking.
like overly into it. I like the way it looks.
Very nice looking. Yep.
I like the way it sounds. Like the well, I was gonna say the theme song I like, but I'm not a huge fan of the lyrics. I like the background sound to the theme song quite a bit. But
I love Miko. Miko's great.
Oh, I was gonna say I don't like Miko.
Oh, I love Miko. Miko's so good.
A lot of her dialogue is super lame. In my opinion, there's a lot of like gamer speak in there.
There's a lot of that.
Yeah. Like she lives at like 1337.
Yeah.
That's the like address house. I don't know. I like 5 because he doesn't talk like a gamer.
Yeah, he's just like a normal dude.
He's like a normal dude.
Yep.
It's like it's fine. I don't know.
Yeah, it's fine. More importantly, we caught up on The Outsider for this week. So last episode is Sunday. So super excited about that. That show continues to be heart-wrenchingly good. So I'm excited for more of that. But more importantly, Castlevania came out today. So that's going to be something I binge probably tomorrow, I'm guessing.
That's my next thing once I'm done Glitch Tex, which I'm just about.
Yep. Yeah, so yeah, it's just been catching up on some shows and whatnot. Division 2, catching up on that.
Yo, we're not talking about video games yet, man.
Not yet, yeah.
We're not at that segment yet.
Not a whole hell of a lot more, I guess. At some point I'll watch High Fidelity, that show. It's been ready to go for a while now, but just haven't pulled the trigger on it yet. What about you? What's new with you?
Not too much. Let's see, shows, movies. We're catching up on My Hero because that new movie is finally in town here.
Okay.
This weekend's a big movie weekend. Because we're gonna hit My Hero and we're gonna hit the new Pixar Onward.
Right.
which I'm quite excited for.
Cool.
But yeah, no, nothing really. I'm excited that movies are finally starting to come out again. That's about it. But
Yep.
let's do the show then. Top-down perspective for March 5th. I'm Sean Booker.
I'm Paul Fleck.
John Wheeler.
All right, Paul, you were bursting at the seams. Tell us about the Division 2.
Warlords came out. Warlords of New York. So finished the main content through that top level, and now the grind begins. So yeah.
Okay, how long is that campaign?
17 missions. So however long it takes you to do one of the missions, I guess.
That's sizable. I'm surprised you're already done. Good job.
Well, I mean, the real game is the end game stuff anyway. So I'm done like the intro to that. I'm done the story stuff. That story stuff's cool. It kind of ends the way I figured it would end. So there's that, I guess. More importantly, though, the way they change stuff in that game for everybody, not just people that have the expansion, is like huge in how they deal with gear and stuff. It's not like you don't have to be reading spreadsheets and looking up builds and stuff anymore. You can actually just tell in game when something is like much better for whatever you're trying to do. Thank God. Like they finally made it so you can.
In game there was like the number was green. And
the number was green, but like if you only went by the number was green, you were doing it wrong because you weren't min-maxing properly. Yeah, you did it wrong.
No, that's okay.
It's fun. It's not fun when you start doing like legendary runs of stuff, but that's what I like to do. The very, very end game stuff. Now it's just like a little bar, and you can see right away that like this bar is bigger than that bar for this skill or whatever. You have a skill library now, so you don't have to hold a bunch of loot to like recalibrate your weapons. You just like get those perks and skill points or whatever, and you just kind of like hide them away in a library that you can use indefinitely from then on, which is so much better. They added season pass stuff, which I don't know yet about. I'm a little. We'll see how they do season pass stuff, but it is free.
How does that work?
Warlords.
Is that a separate purchase?
It's part of Warlords. A base game.
So is it like?
Okay, so the way it happens now
is there two tiers? I should say, is there a free tier and a paid tier kind of?
You just get more with the paid tier, but the base tier is all you need unless you want more like cosmetic.
So it's like when Destiny switched to seasons, and then you bought.
Yeah.
What was their most recent thing? What was the one in the fall?
They
switched over.
I can't remember.
But whenever you bought that, it like came with the first season's battle pass.
Yes, it's kind of like that. So the way it works now is that it goes up to level 40, and then after that you have a new like what they're called infinite leveling thing. It's not really infinite, but what it is every time you level, you get a point that you can put into like doing more damage, having more health or whatever, just kind of little upgrades like that. And each level
kind of like Borderlands 3 does this.
Yes, like badass points in Borderlands.
No, these are Guardian tokens.
Sure, but they were badass points or whatever in 2, I think, is the last one I played for Borderlands. It's the same idea though. It's like it's leveling after the main levels are done. And then that is also what determines your season pass level and whatnot as well. So that's all just complete end game stuff. They added new exotics, which is like, yeah, of course they're going to, but they actually went ahead and did it. They added a fucking machine gun that's called Bullet Hell that doesn't need to be reloaded ever. And every 100 bullets, it reloads everybody else in your party's weapons for them. So people are just constantly shooting all the time, and I want it so bad. It's so dumb.
Weird.
It's so dumb. Yeah, that's a dumb gun. I don't know. That thing's just cool. It's cool to go back to New York. It is a little weird that once you start that content, the New York stuff, you are stuck in New York until you finish the story stuff.
I heard about that. That is super strange.
It's kind of weird. Yep. And I think it's because when you're in DC before you start that stuff, you kind of like are at max level and you have a gear score. When you go into the Warlords content, that stuff is like erased. You're now like level 30. you're going up to level 40. So I don't think it knows how to parse that information going back and forth, which is why it makes you finish it so that you're in kind of a different instance of DC once you finish that part. And also story-wise, stuff happens that changes how like DC stuff works a little bit, but not really. That thing is cool. That thing is totally worth the like 30 or 40 bucks or whatever it is to upgrade if you're into Division. If you're not, like, then I'm just talking on deaf ears because you don't care. It's the same game, but like they just added a whole lot of stuff that makes it way easier to do stuff in, and like a lot of new content. So I'm stoked for it. You're gonna get into this at some point, you said, right?
Yeah, I plan to.
Yeah.
Basically, when we like wrap up our current co-op thing, that's like the next one that we'll jump into.
Sure. Yep. Sounds good. More co-op stuff. I'm trying to learn Escape from Tarkov from some friends that play it. I don't think that game's very good. Like, it's huge. People that love it, but I just don't like it. Like, it's fine because it's a thing I'm playing with buddies, but like I wouldn't play that game alone. That game is okay. I understand now how people felt when I wanted to play DayZ with them, because that game is like impenetrable. Of like, oh, you only have 1,000 hours in this? Huh, newbie. It's like, oh, all right, well, cool. I don't want to play this then. Yep. Especially with you, weird straw man that I made up for this argument. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. That game is a weird, like, online multiplayer thing where you are playing the same maps, going in to scavenge for better gear, and then doing quests for traders in your hub or whatever to like upgrade more stuff in your hideout so you can get more gear. It's like this weird gear grind thing, but if you aren't tactical, quiet, and good at shooting, you're fucked and you will never win. So it's like, great. I get a slow playing game where I'm just going to lose all my shit, I guess. I don't know. People that are into it are super into it. I can't break through it, but at least I'm having fun with friends, I guess. I played Quantum League, that beta. Did you guys play this or look at this at all?
I have not heard of this.
So Quantum League.
I've heard of this, but I forgot what it was.
Quantum League is a 1v1 or 2v2 match in an arena, a shooter match, where you play the same loop using three clones every 15 seconds. So you play as like one version of yourself for 15 seconds doing a thing. You're trying to get to a point and capture it. And to do that, you're going to like shoot the enemy team to kill them and like stop them, or just like outrunning them or like whatever, tricking them. And then it'll rewind time. And that version of what you just did will happen indefinitely until like that clone is killed. But now you're going to play a second version of that 15 seconds doing different stuff. And then
so there's like two of you.
There's three. There's three clones. Yeah, it does this three times. So what this turns into is generally you trying to do an objective, then a second clone. If that clone reaches the objective, a second version of you, making sure that version always reaches that objective. Otherwise, a paradox happens and you don't get the point. Like if the second version of the enemy team kills that guy that got the objective, you have to make sure that your guy kills that guy. And if you don't, then maybe your third guy can kill that second guy, but then you have to watch out for the third guy. It's really fucking confusing to talk about, but it's actually kind of fun, is what I'm getting at. It's unlike any other shooter on the market, which is the last time I've really said that in a big way for a multiplayer game was Siege. So it might be super interesting to get into. I would like a bigger game rather than 2v2, but I can see why it's only 2v2 at max right now, because that shit's confusing as hell. It's like that platformer PB Winterbottom. If anyone remembers that from the 360. Yeah, kind of. Man, that thing is super weird, though. That is a weird thing. I've explained it the best I could. The only thing you could do now is look at a video of it and decipher how it works for yourself. That thing's cool. I want to see more of that when it comes out.
Sounds cool, yeah.
I hope that's free to play, because from what I played in that beta, that doesn't seem like it's worth like a grand amount of money to play, and I think it will die before it ever takes off if they're asking for like a decent paycheck from it. But we'll have to see. I think I saw a lot of people said the same. It was just like, hey, devs, maybe you should consider free to play. Get people into this thing. The last thing I played is the Final Fantasy VII demo, because I knew it was looking good. I know like the characters from before. I just needed to know how it played. That thing plays amazingly. It plays so good.
I was planning when it got announced that it was out, I was planning on downloading it, and then I saw in the description, progress does not transfer to the main game, and I was like, what? It's 2020. How are you not doing that anymore? Like, I thought just demo, that was like a feature all demos had at this point.
Isn't the demo like 20 minutes long? Like,
yeah, you barely make any progress. You play just like the
I
intro.
Just don't want
it's
to, like,
literally a demo.
I also assumed it was longer. Also, I thought I heard it was like an hour or two.
It is definitely not an hour. No.
It's the same demo they had at PAX, which is just like you run into the building, you blow up that robot. That's it. It's like literally like the first like 20 minutes of the game.
It's like the part that you would do for a tutorial where they're like, use this button to run, use this button to climb ladder, like that. It's just that whole intro thing. That game plays really, really good. I didn't understand how that thing was supposed to work for a while, for like the first few fights, but it didn't matter because they put you up against like shitty soldiers that don't do anything but shoot at you and like every now and then try to hit you if you're too close. It wasn't until the spider tank battle thing that I was just like, okay, it clicked with me on like, this is how you switch between the characters and like set up like these giant combos using multiple characters. And that's only with 2 because you only have Cloud and Barret in that. So that game is fucking dope. I wanted to play more of that like right away. So I was sad it ended.
It's real soon.
It's real soon. I'm super excited to get into that. Yeah, that was super satisfying how it plays. On the other hand, there's a mode in it called Classic Mode. And that is literally the computer plays itself. That was kind of funny. So what it is it wants the player to focus, like the reason it's called classic mode is it wants the player to focus on using abilities, spells or items or whatever. So what it does is it fills in all the normal like fighting attacks of like your characters dodging or blocking enemy actions and them like attacking enemies with their basic things. But because the classic mode is easy, the enemies die in a few hits. So it literally is just like, I don't have to use any spells. The computer's just killing itself. It's really, really funny.
I mean, apart from it being easy, that just sounds like how like the Tales of games work, where you control one person and the computers will deal with the rest of your party.
So that's how it plays normally anyways. You control one person and then like you can switch between them and the other members are doing different stuff. This is like the extreme of the computers just controlling everything and waiting for your input. But because it's on easy mode for it, everything dies in like a few hits. So you don't need to have any input if you don't want to. I just sat there and drank some coffee while watching it, basically.
Right on.
Yeah, I can't wait. That thing is going to be really good. And that's going to be a real huge bummer when the demo ends and the game has barely even started because we're still in Midgar. Oh, man. That's going to be some blue ballsy shit right there.
Yeah, well, isn't the whole game just Midgar?
The whole game is just Midgar,
Yeah, that's what I mean. That when the game ends, it's just like, oh, great. Well, let's see when the next part comes out.
We're halfway through disc 1. All right.
Yeah, I'm curious how many parts this thing is going to be.
Yeah.
It depends on how much they streamline some of the other stuff.
Yeah.
And to be fair, they can.
Well, they've been putting a lot more into this one, so it's going to be a longer game than it was originally by far.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's such a question. And like, when do you think the second part even like comes out? Like, are they?
That's the thing.
Trying to make these close at all, or is it going to be kind of like
5 years from now,
18 months, or is it going to be a real long like development cycle again? It's so weird. What a weird thing. And
as Magical Gamer is saying, it's supposed to harken back to the old ATB FFF battles. That's true, but it would be like if those FFF ATB battles were happening and the enemies were consistently taking 10 damage every second while you were making up your mind. That's why it's funny. That's all I've been playing though.
Cool. All right, John, what'd you play at PAX?
Not all that much, because like I said, I was not really there for that long. The little bit I did spend there, I mainly did shopping for the collection. But I played 2 games, and unfortunately, I can't remember the name of one of them right now. I have a card for it somewhere. But it was
That's
a
what they call it.
yes, the famous Fortnite booth at PAX. It was like a scuba diving game. You're like 4 like scuba divers, but it was an arena-based shooter, a 2D arena shooter. So you could free aim, twin stick style to shoot at people. You could dodge around. There were special moves you could get and items you could pick up. And it just kept track of how many kills you got through points. But it also had a single player mode, which there was a bunch of challenges like avoid getting eaten by a shark, like auto scroller stages, kind of like Battletoad style. Like it was really fun. I just don't remember the name of it right now, unfortunately. I'll have to try to find the card for that later. But the other game that I do remember playing was called Thieves Town. This is done by the studio that's putting out the PAX Puzzle Makeout League game that I talked about last year, I think.
Okay.
This is basically like a 4-player local co-op game where you all like it's I want to say Atari styled, where you all are like these generic thieves, but you have a button that you can press to just like stab with your knife. The idea is you have to kill the other players without getting caught yourself. And you have to try to get the highest score by the end, but there's all these different modifiers on it. Like at one point, you'll all look the exact same, so you can't tell who is who until you stab or get stabbed. Then there's other ones like where you become a sheriff and you have a gun, but you have to kill the other players. You only get more ammo if you kill the correct people, stuff like that. There's special effects like everyone turns invisible, everyone gets knocked out. You can drop bombs, etc. It was a fun little like party game, and apparently
Cool.
it's already out on Switch.
Oh.
Was that underwater one called Swim Sanity?
That might be it actually.
Swim Sanity?
I did a quick Google and Swim Sanity.
Yes, that is correct. Swim Sanity is correct.
Oh, this looks
Yeah, no,
cute.
that was a fun little game, and it is coming out. Oh, did it actually come out? That's weird. No, release date fall 2019, coming soon on Steam, so it's not out on Steam yet. But weirdly enough, it says initial release date February 20th, 2019 on Wiki. So that doesn't seem right.
I really like
That
this
is weird.
art style for it.
Yeah, it was a fun game. Yeah, it looks like it's not quite out yet, but it will be soon.
Mm-hmm. Neat.
So yeah, I had fun with that. I had fun with Thieves Town. Unfortunately, everything else that I wanted to check out, lines were too big and I didn't have enough time. So I kept watching like the demo for Fall Guys, which looked really fun. Devolver had a couple new games they announced. That disc game that everyone was talking about.
I saw that on Twitter. That looks kind of cool.
They had their Enter the Gungeon arcade game there, which I really wanted to check out, but again, no time. So yeah, it was a much more indie centric show because of some of the major studios stepping out. Nintendo had a huge booth, but I think the only thing they were really showing off was Animal Crossing. So
Right. Yeah. Did you see some Animal Crossing?
no.
Oh, you're also not in Animal Crossing, right?
I'm not in Animal Crossing.
Okay.
I'm picking it up, but I'm mainly picking it up because my wife's into it.
Yeah.
Oh,
I hear it.
okay.
Yeah. So she
It's
was
a
excited
weird
for
game
it.
to play if you're not into Animal Crossing, because it's not like, I don't know how to word this. I don't want to say like it doesn't have the most fun gameplay, but the gameplay is something that you need to be into.
Yeah.
I feel like if you don't like doing chores aren't fun. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how to express this, but anyway.
No, I get it. It's not. It's like it's a time killing game essentially.
Yeah, but anyway, if you get some fruit I need, let's hook up. Let's help each other out.
But yeah, no, that's pretty much all I played at PAX. I finished up Link's Awakening remake.
Right
Love
on.
was gone. Beat the game on hard mode or hero mode, whatever it was called.
Nice.
And then unlocked all those like dungeon challenges, and that was not worth it. Really wasn't, which is a bummer because that was the feature I was the most excited for. And started playing Luigi's Mansion 3.
Okay. Is it one of the best games of all time, like a lot of people seem to think?
No, but it's good. It's Luigi's Mansion. Do you like
Okay.
Luigi's Mansion 1 and 2? Then you'll like Luigi's Mansion 3.
See, I don't know if I agree with that. For whatever
What?
reason, that didn't work for me. But yeah, I seem to be in the minority, so.
Weird. Yeah, no, I was having fun with it. I'm not too far in it, but I was enjoying it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, a lot of people are way into Luigi's Mansion 3. For some reason, it just didn't click for me, but
That's fair.
wait till you get to the sewer level. Holy smokes, is that bad?
Yeah, maybe that'll be when it jumps off for me. But yeah, what I played so far, I liked.
Right on.
Last night on stream, we played through this game called 1980X. It was only about an hour and a half long, but it was really good. I actually quite enjoyed it.
I didn't know it was that short. It seemed like it would be long due to its premise.
No, I think the problem is that it's like part 1 of like a 2 or 3 part game series.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so like the game has absolutely gorgeous art. Like it's all hand drawn stuff that looks like 80s retro aesthetic pixel art, but it's all hand drawn apparently. It's a game about a kid growing up, kind of telling about his life, just kind of like finding himself in his hometown, but through the art of like finding games and belonging in gaming.
Mm-hmm.
So he finds this arcade with other people that are kind of like him, and he just hangs out there and he plays different games. So the gameplay aspect is you playing different genres of games from like the 80s. So you'll play like a shmup, you'll play a beat 'em up, you'll play a racing game like Outrun, you'll play an RPG, and you'll play like an endless runner. It's just like a bunch of different things like that. And like there's just a story going alongside it. Very 80s aesthetic, very like vaporwave style music soundtrack. The soundtrack is amazing. But I really enjoyed it. Like it was a nice, like, I don't want to say heartwarming story because I mean there's some aspects to it, but like it was good. I quite enjoyed it. It told its story well. But like I said, the real bummer is that it's about an hour and a half long.
Yeah.
I mean, at least it's only like $10. So
yeah. But it looks like it straight up does to be continued at the end. So it's like, yeah, no, there's going to be another one.
Cool.
Okay.
1990X.
Probably.
I don't know, maybe.
Probably, actually.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I'm actually curious how long this took to play through. I'm looking at last night's stream. Yeah, no, I would probably say that took about an hour.
Right on.
It seems neat.
Yeah. It is really neat. I can't wait to see what they do next, but considering the game came out for PS4 back in July and it only just got on Switch now, I'm going to assume there's going to be a while before we get the next part, which is a bummer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm seeing Steam was in the summer of last year.
Yeah, if you want to play like a honestly pretty chill game and like old style arcade games and stuff, go for it.
Cool.
Yeah, it looks like my gameplay was almost exactly an hour.
Wow. Neat.
All right, and that's all I've been playing.
I played through, I guess at the moment, the most recent Borderlands 3 DLC campaign. They have another one coming out at the end of the month. But the season pass. No, not season pass. Crap, what are they called when it's a bunch of DLC?
Expansion pass?
Expansion pass, is that what they're called?
I think so, yeah.
My brain can't work at the moment, apparently. That thing finally went on sale for the Xbox version of it. That thing is regularly $50. That seems high for an expansion pass, but maybe I'm just out of the loop. So it was finally on sale. Picked that up. We played through it over the weekend. It's all like Mad Moxie themed, taking on one of Handsome Jack's casinos. You're doing a heist to steal everything.
Okay.
It's fine. I don't have a ton to say other than it's more Borderlands, and Borderlands plays fine. So I was happy with that. It's actually pretty easy to get every single achievement in that, which was nice, except there's one achievement for having to kill this kind of weakish enemy that like it's like a random chance of whether or not it shows up when you enter the area, which those are just a huge bummer, because you have to just like hope it shows up and just like keep reloading the checkpoint or whatever. That's always annoying when you're trying to like fully wrap something up, because that's the one thing I'm missing.
Yeah.
But we played through that, so I'll play through whatever the next one is at the end of the month. And yeah, Borderlands is still fine. Just getting ready for that movie,
Yeah.
making
Totally.
sure I'm caught up with all the lore.
Yep.
Gotta make sure about that. At one point you find it's like a scrapyard of dead and broken claptraps
Okay.
called scrap traps.
Do they just have like weird zombie things going on where like some of them like jump out at you?
They're just kind of all broken or whatever.
Okay.
And then there's like a king scrap trap or
Great.
something. They all have the same voice as Claptrap though, so my favorite character just got a whole lot of that real quick.
Great.
And there was like a throwaway line that was something like, they must have survived like the Purge or the Great Purge or something. Was that a thing with Claptraps? Is he's the last one or something like that? Does anyone remember? Their Borderlands lore? Come on, we got to get ready for the movie.
Does that have to do with the Robot Revolution DLC from the first game?
I have absolutely no idea. I could not tell you, but
I never played through that DLC. So
I'm going to say yes. And we'll move on.
I think I did play through that DLC, but that was forever ago. So
that was a long time ago. Yeah.
That was a long, I don't know. Anyway, so I played through that. I also finally finished After Party.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Which was slow going because I was playing it with my girlfriend since it was pretty like story focused. It was something kind of that she could like watch as we went through it.
Yeah.
And I haven't really talked about it much here because I was only playing little bits and pieces of it every few weeks. But I finally wrapped it up. I think that game is far inferior to Oxenfree.
I've heard this actually. I heard that it was kind of a letdown.
It is a bit of a letdown for sure. On one hand, it's super janky.
Yep, I've heard this too.
So poorly, which is crazy because like I'm running it on the Xbox One X, and it's still running super poorly. I've heard the PS4 version runs bad. I haven't heard much of the PC version.
I've heard it runs bad.
So. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, it's weird how bad it runs. Also, like, so the main mechanic is, again, it's like, quote unquote walking simulator. It's, story focused, but you can order like a bunch of different weird drinks from the bartenders, and those will open up different like conversation paths, but they're not even so much paths. That's one of the other issues is they'll kind of add an extra thing you can say that will relate to the type of drink you have. And when you order a drink, it'll be like, oh, this one will make you like really courageous. This one will make you flirty. So it'll give you kind of a courageous or flirty thing you can say at random times. But that barely changes the conversation in any way to the point of like, what is even the point of doing this?
Right. Besides
making my screen just go all like wonky for like 20 seconds. So that just seemed like kind of like half baked. Maybe there was more stuff going on in the background of like, oh, you actually weren't able to do this unless you were like super drunk, but I don't think that was the case. So that seemed kind of just like a half thought out idea. It was more in there because they liked the idea of drinks doing stuff, but they didn't like go through or they didn't push it far enough. I want to say.
Sure.
Yeah, and I just coming off of Oxenfree, which is just I held that in pretty high regard, doesn't help. So if you're gonna play like one of Night School Studios games, I just like go play Oxenfree. I think it's a better game, and they're both on Game Pass. So yeah, kind of a bummer, but what can you do?
Yeah.
I also did finish Tokyo Mirage Sessions, yada 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 Switch version.
Right.
So
how long was it? Because it seems like you're going through that pretty fast, honestly.
Yeah, I want to say I clocked in around 40 hours.
That's way shorter than I expected, especially for a Persona style game.
Yep.
It is definitely significantly shorter than a Persona style game. But hey, I did an RPG. So there's my yearly annual RPG in the can. It was nice. It was nice getting that done. I think that story is garbage. Oh god, the story's so bad. The side quests are extremely lame. But the combat is just super fun. And I've said this time and time again. I'm glad I played through it. I'm happy for that. I've always wanted to see what that game was because it's such a weird little mashup thing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, wrapped that up. So now I'm free to play tons of games. I played some Voxelgrams because
On your Switch?
On my Switch, Paul would not stop talking about it. So I was like, I got to try it out. And I love 3D Picross.
I mean, it's 3D Picross, so yeah.
3D Picross is I've said it. I'll say it again. It is the best style of Picross.
It is a style of Picross. That's true.
And I guess side tangents. They're talking about the Switch. I bought one of those bed frame holders.
Oh my god.
It was just like it was on sale. It was like $15. Like, why not? I wanted to try it out. So you like screw it to your headboard, and then it has this surprisingly strong arm. Like, you need to put some effort into like bending it into shape, which I guess it's good because like on the Amazon link, people are putting like tablets and stuff in there, so you got to be careful. Those things can get a bit heavy. But I'm kind of like weirdly like quasi excited to try laying down in bed with my Switch above my head playing the game.
Yeah. All right.
So we'll see how that goes with like Murder by Numbers this month and whatnot.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna try that out, so I'll report back. Anyway, Voxelgrams, the presentation nowhere near as clean and as nice as 3D Picross from Nintendo. I'll say that off the bat.
Sure.
I'm sure it does not have the budget.
It is one
Right,
dude.
for sure. Yeah.
So yeah.
I'll say I'm not a huge fan of the font choice.
Sure. Yeah, that's fair.
It's not a big thing, but I'm just not a big fan of the choice in font they used. All the axes are inverted.
What?
Yeah, when you're rotating like the block, it's all inverted.
What are you using to control it?
I'm using an analog stick.
Oh, why don't you just use touch?
Because I'm playing my Switch and I'm playing on the couch and got it on the TV.
Oh,
and
okay. You have it on the TV.
Yourself said it plays totally fine with a controller.
It does play fine with a controller. It plays better with touch.
Okay, I don't.
But if you're playing it on the TV, you can't like do it then. Yeah. So.
And I mean, like it does. It plays fine, but just both the axes are inverted, and you can't change that, and it's infuriating. Especially the x-axis, man. Come on.
That's kind of weird. Yeah. I don't use a stick at all. So I didn't know that. That's fucked up. It's kind of weird that you wouldn't be able to change that either.
It is weird because they have the settings are pretty good. You can remap any button you want.
That's what I mean. The settings are okay. Yeah.
But you can't change the axis thing. So that's super strange.
That is strange.
And as a result, it just means like I keep rotating it the wrong way every time I try to rotate it. Also,
yeah.
And I don't remember 3D Picross doing this. It seems to want to like cut away some of the layers on its own, like automatically when you're rotating it, as opposed to you deciding to like, like on 3D Picross on like the DS and 3DS, you would click something in the corner and kind of drag it in.
Right.
To say, I want to remove these numbers so I can see the inside.
Yeah.
And you can do that with these shoulder buttons. You can go in and out that way, but it'll do it automatically. Like it's thinking based on the way you are rotating this block. It makes a judgment that, oh, you want to look inside now. But sometimes I just want to rotate the block.
Right. That seems weird.
No, there's an auto thing in there that I keep fighting against.
Huh.
Super weird.
That is weird.
Yeah, I mean, the game's totally fine, but when you're in the very small niche of 3D Picross games and you're going up against like Nintendo just hit it out of the park twice, then that's the only thing I have to compare it to. So it's like, and because it's not exactly that, I can find these flaws. It's fine. I just have to kind of get the muscle memory of inverted x-axis, and I just have to kind of get that down, and then I'll be fine with it.
Sure.
It is also $8, so I'm not going to complain that much. Like whatever.
Right. Yeah.
It is fine for what it is, but it definitely made me think like maybe I should just break the 3DS out, man, and just keep going because I never finished 3D Picross Round 2.
Oh, really?
Or the first time I think about it. Yeah. No, I never finished that.
Yeah, you could
So
just
we'll
go
see.
back to it.
I could,
Yeah.
but I can't play it on my TV. So Voxelgrams has that going for it.
Great.
I should try out Touch because I even bought a stylus back when
When
Super
Mario
Mario Maker
Maker.
2 came out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I should try that and see what that's like. Yeah, that's all I've been playing this week. So let's go through all of this news.
Yeah. A lot of it's kind of quick, but let's start off with the coronavirus minute for the week.
Just a minute.
Yep. Hit that sound cue. John, go.
Sick.
Coronavirus.
Yeah, that's the actual one, but it's
go.
okay. You put a remix on it, John, and I appreciated that.
Okay.
Fun fact, 90% of Americans say they believe it's important to wash their hands after using the restroom, but only 66% actually do.
Disgusting.
As for washing with soap, almost 70% admitted to skipping using soap while washing their hands.
What's the point then? What? Use the soap.
Those were some of the statistics I was trying to look up earlier. I couldn't find that 32% one, but I got that one instead.
Who puts their hand under water and then just walks out? Like, what type of psycho are you? Just pump some soap
so
on
many
there.
people do that. Way more people do that than you realize, man.
Can I hit you with another coronavirus fact? Coronavirus fact of the week.
Sick.
Poll finds 38% of Americans say they will not drink Corona beer because of virus.
Oh my god.
Branding.
Anyways,
I wonder how many meetings do you think like the head honchos of Corona beer have had just to be like, this is tanking our sales for the month.
They're freaking out for sure. They're associated with a fucking pandemic. Like, why wouldn't they be?
GDC got
canceled, quote unquote.
Postponed. No, it's postponed.
Well, yeah, postponed till summer, but nobody knows what that means or when that is yet. So we'll see.
Exactly. Yeah. So
no one knows when summer is. It's a tragic tale.
It's true.
That'd be kind of interesting. Like, do you think they actually do hold a GDC, or do they just go like, let's just wait till next year?
Let's just wait till next year, I think.
That's what I think. Like, it seems easier to just cancel one and then come back at the same time than it is to like try and reschedule everything.
I think so.
But yeah, this happened right after last week's show. We were wondering, it's only a matter of time before it happens. Seems like a lot of kind of, like we guessed, the smaller devs are kind of out a lot of money. And I know there are several like funds online, people trying to help those out, because GDC passes are crazy expensive.
Sure.
It is weird, but that is like a big networking event. So,
and then like, hotel in San Francisco travel for people out of state and city.
For sure.
Like, it's crazy.
I have heard a lot of stuff around GDC. They are like getting refunds and stuff for a bunch, but I'm sure there are definitely plenty of stuff they can't. I heard like one story of it was either a European or like an African game developer was like, yeah, we scrounged all our money to get to GDC. Now we're just kind of stuck.
Yeah, that hurts. That's no good. Well, following in, sorry, go on.
Oh, go ahead. I was about to mention the next one.
Okay, so following in that trend, Capcom decided that they're going to pull out of some stuff. So they have a announcement here for the Capcom Pro Tour that they've been monitoring news relating to the novel coronavirus outbreak and decide to remove Brussels Challenge 2020, NorCal Regionals 2020, and April Annihilation 2020 from the Capcom Pro Tour this year. So, yeah. Makes sense, I guess. And then people were like, yo, what about like online though? Which I'm going to tie into the next thing here. Oh, wait, did I not pull it? Yeah, right here. Okay. No, I pulled it. I just pulled it in the wrong spot. CSGO Intel Extreme Masters Tournament had the biggest viewership numbers ever because everybody was scared to go to the fucking thing live and watched it online, which is really, really good.
That's super weird.
So yeah, more than 1 million peak viewers saw Navi's 3-0 sweep. So Intel Extreme Masters Katowice 2020 for Counter-Strike owes its numbers of viewership to the last minute quarantine and people having to watch from home, which I think is hilarious. But so there you go. It's a little good news, I guess. Maybe.
Silver lining.
Silver lining, yeah.
And that's been your coronavirus minute.
I think that was a bit. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. Burn. Now you're healthy.
Now you're healthy.
Yeah.
All right, Valorant from Riot. This was officially shown this week.
Yes, it was officially shown.
It was quasi announced a while back when they like announced like 6 games, all just like project like A, B, C, F. I don't remember what it was.
This was Project A for people following at home. So yeah,
hero shooter that looks like Counter-Strike.
Yeah, a 5v5 tactical shooter where your different characters have abilities to like an Overwatch essentially. But it doesn't seem like abilities that like you just murder everybody on the map instantly. It's more like controlling an area, like smoke, and I think one of them was almost like a weird little teleport or like a double jump or something.
Right.
So,
yeah, it's not so much like aggressive abilities. It is more like zone control, putting up walls and whatnot.
Right. Like controlling the environment.
The art style's pretty interesting. I'm curious how much it'll change because right now it's like kind of cartoony, but not like Overwatch cartoony or Team Fortress cartoony. But
Right.
it kind of seems like, oh, I could see like if they wanted to like, it's like the DreamWorks to Pixar kind of. It's like it's a bit cartoony, but not as nice. I could see this being like Counter-Strike cartoon style a little bit.
Sure. It almost looks like a Team Fortress 2 like serious style or something. Like,
right, yeah, because like the buildings look a little too realistic is the thing. Like there's not a lot of color going on out in the environments for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm seeing at least. So yeah, I'm curious to see how much that'll change. But
yeah,
as a big fan of Overwatch, I'm usually down to try something that's trying to rip off Overwatch.
As a fan of Counter-Strike, but an old piece of crap that can't keep up with the kids and their Twitch shooting, this might be nice.
Sure.
So, that might be nice. I'm always looking for shooters that are not just Twitch shooters and have some weird tactical element to them that make them different. So I'm in. Like, I want to see more of it for sure. BAFTA nominees for 2020 were announced. There's a whole lot of them. So do we want to go through them? Should we do this another time?
There's a lot of these.
There's a lot of
another
them.
Time.
I mean, yeah, we could go through them. I'm just not ready to take down
Maybe let's look at what's the best game. What is their list for best game?
Okay, let's take a look here.
I pulled it up.
Do you mean
Control,
best game or
Disco,
British game?
Porque no las dos.
Exactly.
Luigi's Mansion 3, Outer Wilds, Sekiro, and Untitled Goose Game. Good for them.
Right.
You want to make a commitment just on best game? I mean, I'm gonna say Control just because that's where my heart is on this.
Sure. They might go Outer Wilds for what that does.
Maybe. John, what's the best game from the BAFTAs? What do you think? What's your guess?
I'm looking at the list again. What do we got here? Control, Disco Elysium, Luigi's Mansion 3, Outer Wilds, Sekiro, Untitled Goose Game. I almost see them giving it to Untitled Goose Game, to be perfectly honest.
Okay.
Okay.
But if not Goose Game, Disco Elysium.
All right.
Okay.
And then you also have to pick a British game, which is Dirt Rally 2, Heaven's Vault, Knights and Bikes, Observation, Planet Zoo, and Total War 3 Kingdoms. All games we're all quite familiar with.
I know 2 of these.
I know Planet Zoo, I know Total War, and I know Knights and Bikes.
Yeah, I know Knights and Bikes as that game I want to play.
Yeah. Yep.
I guess I know Dirt Rally too.
I guess I know that too, but I don't count that.
I heard cool things about Observation, so I'm gonna say Observation.
Okay.
I'm gonna give it to Knights and Bikes.
Oh shit! No, I played through Observation actually. That game was totally good. That's true. I'll say Planet Zoo. Why not?
Okay. All right. Let's move on. There's so much to this.
There's so much, yeah. GeForce Now apparently is the closest you can get so far in their competitive mode to local PC latency in some games that they were doing some testing between this and Stadia and different like versions of them.
But Stadia has negative latency.
Yeah. So there's a big article here. I'm just gonna basically say the way they did this is they took Destiny 2 and Metro Exodus, both games where you don't need Twitch shooting, by the way, so I don't know why they chose those games, but whatever. They used a Maki Maki board and an Olympus TG6 camera, apparently, to track latency. Local PC latency for, we'll just go with Destiny 2 for now, was 39.5 milliseconds. GeForce Now's competitive was 69 milliseconds, whereas Stadia's best that they could do was 93 milliseconds. While GeForce's Now like balanced method was about the same as Stadia's.
What is? Did you said Maki Maki or Makey Makey?
Makey
What is
Makey
that?
board.
Do you know what that is?
No.
Does anyone know what that is? Okay.
No. So, this is like a thing they're trying to push out specifically for the competitive scene for people that want to do like Overwatch, CSGO, and stuff like that. And frankly, that's pretty close. That's not too bad. Like about 30 milliseconds off of local. But again, we'd have to see like
tier. What is GeForce Now competitive?
It's I think it's a different option they're working on.
Prove a point. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
More like a hey, look what we can do kind of deal.
Yeah.
Right on.
So they're working on that. But I mean, if it's doable and they're showing it, then it gives Stadia like they have to push to get it too, right? So that's good. Good for everybody. I just thought that was kind of neat that they were able to get it that far down so far.
Yeah, for sure.
Speaking of GeForce Now, the Long Dark dev pulls his game saying he wasn't asked permission to include it, and he wants to know, wait, what does he say? Sorry, those of you who are disappointed who can no longer play the Long Dark on GeForce Now. Please take your complaints to them. The devs should control where their games exist. This guy doesn't understand that GeForce Now is literally, I bought your game on Steam. Your game exists on Steam. I'm playing it just through another computer. So, but well, whatever.
I'm not sure about that. Patrick Klebig over at Vice Games did an article this week that I read through about GeForce Now and like kind of what's going on with these devs pulling out and stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
I'd recommend a read if this is something you're interested in. Trying to summarize a bit of it, it seems that like GeForce Now basically didn't ask permission from anyone when putting their games on. And then so with some of the bigger ones like Blizzard and specifically Bethesda taking it off, and I had completely forgot about this. Bethesda announced their own streaming service like 2 E3s ago, Orion.
Right, yeah.
Again,
I forgot about
totally
Orion too.
In my head. Exactly right. Everyone forgot about Orion. So it makes sense that they would not want their games to be on
another platform.
Another platform. And he Patrick also mentioned that Blizzard, I guess, has something in the works as well. There wasn't a name dropped on that one, so I didn't know about that one either.
Sure.
But and then he kind of he's been trying to contact a lot of them. Not a lot of people are getting back to him, but for the smaller devs, some of them are like, yeah, we didn't know about it until people just started like tweeting, but we're fine with it, I guess. Specifically, I think that was the FTL and Into the Breach devs knew nothing about this until after the fact. So it's kind of just bringing up the question of like, how come NVIDIA isn't doing like a due diligence of actually being like a partner with these people? Because NVIDIA is a huge company.
Yeah, they should probably like partner with these people. But at the same time, then it brings into the question, could you not play your games on my computer? Because that's literally what this is. Right.
No, I'm for sure.
Some people are misunderstanding, I think, what this is. But NVIDIA should be reaching out for sure.
I think NVIDIA definitely should, as just like a due diligence at the very least. It's not like they're a small company that can't or doesn't already have a lot of these partnerships with game developers. They make graphics cards all the fucking time. That this should be something they can easily do. And then that kind of brings into the light the whole why they don't have like a list of games. Is it almost seems kind of shady at this point that they're not coming out and being like, these are the games you can play, and it's more of like, go discover what you can play.
They release a list every single time they add stuff. There's an update literally every few days.
Is there a full list? Because I remember when it launched, we only had the search option, and
I don't know that if there's. I don't know if it's a full list, but there is definitely a list of stuff. They're like, these are now added, like every few days. I don't know if they have a master list somewhere. I'll take a look. I'll look around.
I know that that wasn't the case when they launched, because we had to go to like Reddit or that user one, whatever the site you found was. I remember.
Yeah, that's still the best way to see if a specific game is there for sure. Besides just using their app, I guess.
Yeah, the article goes into like EULA agreement stuff that kind of went a little bit over my head, but it was a lot of stuff that was related to like actually publishers can pull this stuff because of these lines in a bunch of the EULAs do not allow this kind of thing.
Sure.
So if this is something you're interested in, I would definitely recommend checking out that article over on Vice Games.
Sure. I guess just to put a period on this, though, NVIDIA offered the dev a graphics card as an apology.
Yeah, how weird is that, right? Sorry, we didn't tell you that we were using your game. Here's a graphics card.
That's so funny. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we'll have to. I don't understand why they're not even just like sending a tweet. It's like, yo, at developer of game, can we include your thing? And then if they say yes and a tweet back or like, that'd be cool. That's like literally all you need.
Well, even if you don't send I'm sure an email. I'm sure what a lot of the issue is here and what's causing a bunch of the friction is NVIDIA is charging a fee for some of these for the higher tier. So NVIDIA is making money off of the games, which I'm sure plenty of publishers are like, I feel like we should be getting some of that cut.
Yeah. And they have every right to if they have their own competing service. They should be doing that, which makes sense that Blizzard is going to maybe probably do this. Like, I'm surprised they haven't, frankly.
Yeah, and I just think with that kind of partnered with the like the not them being a partner, like the no communication aspect of it is probably just rubbing a lot of publishers in a bad way immediately, and they're like, hang on, we got to pull the plug and we need to have a meeting first.
It's super weird that they don't have a guy sending emails out to publishing companies. Like, this is just like a one-person job to sit in an office, send emails, and check their emails all day to see if they can do this.
Like at NVIDIA?
At NVIDIA, yeah. Like, this seems like an easy fix.
The cynical idea is maybe they figured this is exactly what's going to happen, but hey, if we just launch, we'll get so much good press immediately, it won't matter. The ball will be rolling, and then the fans will be will be on our side, and it'll be the developers that look bad for taking their game.
They don't have any money yet, though. They don't start charging until May. Even for like the 3 month, because they gave 3 months free to everybody who wanted the Founders Pack. So everybody could like just cancel at this point and they don't get shit. Seems weird.
Right.
This whole thing's weird. It's been kind of interesting to follow, though. It's definitely a new age of video game stuff going on here. Sure. So you guys remember how the Bloodstained reached its goal to do like a roguelike type thing? Well, they can't do it. Basically because of the way that the game is made, they can't make a procedurally generated castle without it breaking everything. So what they're doing instead is they're introducing a randomizer mode. So instead of a roguelike mode, it's a randomizer. That makes way
more sense.
It does.
Considering the structure of that game, I'm surprised they even said they were going to try doing that.
Yep, for sure. So this makes a whole lot of sense. So it'll be a randomizer rather than a full-out roguelike mode where the castle changes every time you go in it on one life and blah, blah, blah.
I'd be curious, and this would probably be super in the weeds, but I'd be curious what made them think they could do it. And then what was the like feature that they added and then they realized too far afterwards, like, oh wait, because we put this into play, we can't do it anymore.
I think it's just the nature of the map, really, because like you could only have so many types of pieces moving to so many places.
Well, but they must have thought they could do it at one point. So I'm wondering what was the thing that like broke the horse's back, you know what I mean?
They might have just promised the moon and then realized, oh shit, we did this, huh? That's what I'm
maybe I feel like they probably would have had a bit more foresight, but maybe.
It's from like what I've read on it. It sounds like it's just some like old code that they can't like. They set too much of a foundation in the way the map works currently that like they would basically have to code a different game for it to work. So yeah, it is what it is, I suppose. Mario Kart Tour, that mobile game, finally adds its multiplayer mode March 8th. So you will be able to play local and online multiplayer in that game at that time.
Hooray. Does it still handle awful?
I'm sure everything is still the same. I heard that there was a new Vancouver update where you needed to spend like $20 to be able to get the top scores.
No, the Vancouver thing's done now. So
yeah.
But yes, that is correct.
Dope. I just added this in for me so I would remind myself to download it later tonight. Halo, the first Halo was finally added to PC on March 3rd for Game Pass and for
the remade version, right? The
anniversary. The anniversary edition, yeah. So if you have the Master Chief Collection on PC or Game Pass, you can now get that too. So I'm excited for that. So speaking a little more on Stadia, Google opened a game studio, or is opening a game studio with an ex-PlayStation person from Santa Monica, Sony Santa Monica.
Which you'll know they just did God of War.
Yes. Specifically, I'm looking for her name here, actually. I didn't write it down in here. Shannon Studstill. Apparently she was the executive producer of God of War specifically. So...
Right.
Yeah, that should be interesting.
So new studio for Stadia. I mean, good. Stadia needs more games.
Yeah.
Stadia needs more games. That's the first step.
For sure.
Did you see that article that was going around the other day about how devs think it's going to get canceled, so they haven't actually tried to get their games on there?
I did hear about that a bit, yeah.
Bummer.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, that's on Google to have better wording saying, no, look, here you go.
If they're buying a studio, like, that's going to be at least a year turnaround minimum. So, like, there's got to be some plan, right?
I mean, you would think they would do something similar to like the Epic Game Store approach of like, yo, we will give you all this money if you put your game on our platform. Because that seems to be working pretty well for the Epic Game Store.
I kind of thought they were just going to do that.
Yeah, and clearly that can't be the case because there would be more like indie games on there being like, hey, we did it. We're in the green.
Yeah. Weird.
So who knows?
Weird. Just some more stealth adding stuff happened. Konami added Symphony of the Night to mobile, and it is controller capable. It is not keyboard capable for Bluetooth keyboards if you use a keyboard on your phone or tablets or whatever. But
God, who would do that?
I don't know. But if you
who's playing Symphony of the Night keyboard,
if you're that person, I'm sorry, you're gonna have to get a controller, I guess. So that's available now as well.
And surprisingly, like $3.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, for sure.
A company like Konami in 2020, I would have expected them to be like, this is Symphony of the Night, sir. $10, please.
Yeah, but they already did that. That's what that last year or 2 years ago collection was on the PS4.
It's true. Yep.
I'm surprised they didn't keep going for it. So I'm $3. Nice.
Yep. DuckTales Remastered came back to digital storefronts.
That was a big surprise.
Yep. So not exactly sure what their licensing department or whatever did to fix everything up, but that is now available for people who want to.
They spent money. More than likely, what happened was that they realized how popular the new DuckTales cartoon is.
Yeah,
Disney rather, and realized they should probably have some sort of representation for the game out or for the series out. So they were like, "Oh, just bring the game back."
Yeah, fair enough.
That's my bet, anyways.
Someone appeased the big mouse himself with an offering, a sacrifice, if you will.
Oh boy, that sure is a lot of money.
Yeah.
Antonio Banderas joins cast for Uncharted movie. So that's a thing.
Honestly, the only thing that came out of this is...
What was that sentence you just uttered? I need to hear that again. What?
Antonio Banderas. Yeah?
Is it just me or is he looking old?
He's looking old.
That's because he's pretty old, isn't he? He's like...
No, he's definitely
60s?
old. I feel like when it comes to like my perception of Antonio Banderas, it's just that meme. So he's just eternally that age. And then I see current day Antonio Banderas and it's like, whoa.
Yeah, Antonio Banderas will be 60 in August.
So he's got to be Sully, right?
God, I hope so. That would rule.
Man, there's some names on here. Antonio Banderas, Tom Holland, and Mark Wahlberg in Uncharted. Fuck. Those are some
Yo,
names going on.
Look at this picture I just found of Antonio Banderas, and tell me that he would not be the perfect fit for Sully.
All right.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
You should put this in the chat.
Yeah, I'm gonna put this in the chat. Oh shit, I can't. I just copied that. Actually, never mind.
Okay, well, it's pretty good, guys. He's got like a rat stash.
Yeah.
Here, have a giant link. Yeah, reached character limit of 500. Never mind.
All right. Speaking of video game, movie, TV properties that will not happen, they announced a Last of Us TV show this morning.
Okay.
From Craig Mazin, who is the writer of the upcoming Borderlands movie,
Great.
as well as the Chernobyl.
Chernobyl's so good. So
Chernobyl's so good. Everyone says, yeah, for sure.
Mhm.
And I guess this guy likes video games a lot.
Cool.
So, my friend sent me a tweet. I guess there was a short Twitter thread of him saying, I'm the biggest Last of Us fan. And someone was like, well, why don't you make a movie out of it? And he was like, sure. And that was like September.
Well, damn.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously Neil Druckmann from the studio is working on it too. It was also then later confirmed that this is the planned movie that was quote unquote in production. So it's pivoting to a TV series. I should also say it's on HBO.
Yeah,
Right.
so it'll have a decent budget.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Sure.
I don't know. What do you guys think? Are you gonna watch a Last of Us TV show?
Of course I am.
I
For sure.
didn't like Last of Us, so no.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a big fan either, but I'll watch this. I don't have to play it.
I love Last of Us, but I mean, like, I've already seen the Joel and Ellie story, right? So I don't need to see that again. So if it's not that, is it just like another zombie show? And I'm already not watching any of the 3 Walking Dead TV shows.
Ugh, yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm just kind of like, whatever, I guess. Ghost of Tsushima got a release date, June 26th.
Cool.
So there you go. Also, this last week, some videos came out for Half-Life Alyx, just showing off more of how it plays.
Yeah.
And along with that, Valve came out and said that Half-Life Alyx is going to be a critical part of the larger story, and that they will be returning to the IP. This is not the end of it. Players should refresh themselves on the events of Episode 2.
Wow.
So maybe some more Half-Life is coming. Sure, why not? Who knows?
Half-Life
I'm
episode
so
3.
curious what this game is. And the fact that I won't have access to it really sucks.
Yeah, me too.
All right, and this last thing I grabbed, I'm always praising Game Pass, saying Sony's got to step up. Sony does have PS Now, which you can download games. It's been like that for a while.
Yeah.
For the most part, the offering just haven't been worthwhile, but they got Control added to them this last week, that's pretty serious, especially when there was rumors it was coming to Game Pass and it never showed up, still hasn't shown up. Came to PlayStation Now. So I just want to, I'm just giving props to PlayStation Now. Good for them. Control rocks. Maybe PlayStation Now is something worth looking at. I mean, I'm not going to say it's better than Game Pass. But anyway, Control's also only there until August 31st. So like their window is way smaller than Game Pass, it looks like.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what the deal with that is. But Game Pass like never mentions when the games are gone. They also don't really seem to leave that much. Or they do it so quietly no one notices. So anyway, if you don't have an Xbox and you've been missing out, PlayStation Now, I guess for right now is a good thing.
Yeah.
All right, that does it for news. Let's get through some questions. If you want to send a question in, it's topdownperspective@gmail.com, at TDP Podcast on Twitter, the Discord channel, or John's P.O. Box.
Yep.
Paul, why don't you take it away?
Yeah, I got some episode titles, courtesy of VGC Kenny. So thank you again. All right, let's start this off here. Starting on the 2nd of January, first one of the year, first title of the year. Play a game of chicken with Xbox.
What?
I have
Play a
no
game
idea.
of chicken with Xbox.
Oh, that's Forza Horizon 4's DLC, isn't it? Like the Battle Royale mode? Or is that too soon for that?
Maybe?
Maybe?
I honestly don't
Yeah,
remember what
I
this
have
could
no
be.
idea. Yeah, I have no idea.
Context is Sean was talking about wanting a game, but also waiting for it to come to Game Pass, and the title describes that interaction.
That makes sense. So do I
That's
spend
probably
money or
me,
do I get it for free?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like that was probably me talking about
Indivisible.
Indivisibles. Yeah, which I actually did boot up last week
Cool.
for 1 minute.
Cool.
Yep.
Okay, 9th of January. They're all Garfield racing.
Oh, that was
That sounds like we're talking about the entire Wii library.
no, that was we introduced John Arbuckle to the show, and I asked him what his
That's right, his game of the
what his
year.
game of the year was, and Paul said it was Garfield Racing, and I was like, cool. What was your like last year game of the year? And he
they're
said
all
they're
Garfield.
all Garfield Racing.
Yeah, I remember this. I remember. Okay, context. Before admitting to needing to push back the Game of the Year episode, Sean and Paul tried to play it off with special guest John Arbuckle, whose list is entirely Garfield Racing, and Death Stranding is disappointing.
Oh, that's right. No, he also like he
Wow.
also played Death
Wow,
Stranding, but
guys.
wasn't a fan. That's right.
Wow.
Oh, John Arbuckle, you piece of shit. All right, the 16th of January. Game of the Year edition. Sean in
That's title?
February.
Oh wait, the Game of the Year one has a title?
Yeah, game. It says GOTY Sean in February.
Oh, that's got to be Sean actually getting time to play like new releases or something like that.
Probably. I don't know what else it could have been.
What is Sean in February? That was a year ago.
Context is talking about how Anthem was disappointing and how Sean is worried about himself back in February because he doesn't know. Current Sean wanted to
Oh.
protect February Sean.
Oh, right. We were listening to like the recordings or something like that, weren't we? Or no?
No,
that-
we were talking about the most disappointed games, and because Anthem was my number
that's
one.
what it was. Yeah, you're right.
Okay. The
Poor boy, he
23rd.
doesn't know. He doesn't know how hurt he's about to be.
Okay, 23rd of January. Silly Tim, always trying to tell us we're running out of digital copies. I know what this is about.
This is Grand Theft Auto 4.
Yep.
Him?
Yeah, we were just saying how there's like this Rockstar employee just being like going up to the window of the meeting, just like smacking on the window,
You guys
Guys are running out of copies.
pointing. The numbers are low. Yeah. Context is GTA 4 can no longer be sold on Steam because of some Games for Windows Live shenanigans. You guys wondered if there was a Rockstar employee trying to tell everyone about the impending mess, but no one would listen to him. You named him Tim. That was a good moment.
Good. That was
Yeah.
a good one.
Yeah. Okay. 31st of January, episode 500. Warning, not actually fun. Warning, not actually fun.
Just the title of episode 500. It's not actually fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, the description is just, oh, this wasn't part of it. I just wanted to dunk on you guys. I don't know. That sounds maybe something like Nathan said.
Yeah, that's totally a Nathan thing, but like, I can hear that in his voice.
Yeah, I can hear him saying like, it wasn't actually fun or something like
Yeah.
that. I don't know what that is.
No idea.
Yeah, me neither. Okay, context. Talking about how the game boat cannot be used as an actual flotation device.
Oh, for fuck's sake! Right.
I remember just
The
like,
gift that keeps on giving.
yeah. Warning, not actually fun. Yeah, I can hear Nathan say it in my head. Okay, February 6th. Be careful of me. Oh, that's kind of ominous.
It is.
Be careful of me.
February 6th, a month ago. God, our
How-
memory is terrible.
How do we not remember a month ago?
I don't remember this at all.
I don't either. Be careful of me.
Is someone sick? That would make sense, but I don't think any of us were sick.
I wasn't
No.
sick.
No. All right. Context was a question came up about if you were to body swap with each other. John said he would call his wife and tell her this.
Right.
Oh.
Be careful. of me.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. 13th of February. I kind of run the new E3, bitch. That's Jeff Keighley pulling out of E3 and running the Game Awards.
I
Yeah.
think you're right. Yes.
Context, Jeff Keighley said he wasn't going to be at E3. Paul said that this could be one of the reasons why, on top of various other reasons. Okay, and the 20th. Whoever loses, Nook wins.
This was me complaining about Animal Crossing because we were talking about all the direct stuff.
Okay, yeah, sure. I believe that. Context is talking about the confusing limitations of Animal Crossing New Horizons.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thank you again for sending those in.
Yes, thank you. All right. First question from Hebrew Lantern. What is your stance on the overpopulation of Yoshi? Do you think we should kill more Yoshi to make sure they don't overeat and kill themselves off?
What if they eat themselves? They do lay the eggs of themselves. What if they just eat them in, like, the egg form?
That's horrible. That'd be like feeding like a pig some bacon.
Or like a chicken.
Which
and
apparently
egg.
they'll eat it.
Ugh. I don't know. What are your guys' stance on Yoshi? Pro Yoshi?
I was pro Yoshi until they gave him a voice. So it's been a long time.
I'm not the biggest Yoshi Island fan. I think that throw
Okay.
mechanic is bad.
I've been meaning to revisit Yoshi's Island because I think I didn't give it a fair shake the first time I ever played it. And I never finished it completely to the end either. So I've been meaning to go back to that one.
I think for the most part, I'm pro Yoshi though.
Yoshi's a good tool. Like, that second jump is so helpful.
I'll probably play Yoshi if I'm playing like a Mario Party. You know, if you somehow
Okay.
get me to play a Mario Party, I'd probably pick Yoshi. If Toad's not an option.
Yeah, at least he's not humanoid. So there's that. He's a different, like,
John, you said you're
silhouette.
pro Yoshi?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I'm pro Yoshi.
You're over Yoshi's.
I'm so over Yoshi.
So blasé.
Yeah.
They're so blasé now.
They're so last year.
All right, and a second question here from Hebrew Lantern. What is your favorite Digimon?
I don't know.
Renamon.
Which one's Renamon?
That's the fox from the one with the cards.
What's the sexiest Digimon? Give me a name. I'll look it up right now.
Probably Anjouamon, which
I
is
don't know.
Gatomon's evolution.
This topic of conversation sucks.
I don't know. I don't know any Digimon, legitimately.
Just type in sexy Digimon. You're gonna get a million results. Why would you not just think to do that?
Your computer's gonna break from all the viruses.
Holy
I'll do
shit,
it.
this Digimon is just a sexy angel lady?
Yeah, that's Anjouamon.
I hate all of this.
That's what Gatomon
Wait,
turns into.
What?
Yeah, how do you not remember this? How do you remember Gatomon but not that?
I don't remember any of it. I don't care about Digimon at all. I don't know a thing about it.
I grew up with it. That's why I remember that.
Yeah.
Can we
I
talk
don't-
about maybe like Monster Rancher instead?
Yeah, what's
Oh,
the sexiest
yeah, 'cause if you
monster
want a series,
rancher?
it's clearly it's the succubus one. I can't remember its
Yeah,
name.
I'm looking it up right now. You're right.
I don't remember much about Monster Rancher. Wasn't there like an eyeball guy?
Yeah, that's Suezo.
Yeah.
Man, you remember so much more about these than I do.
Pixie. Yeah, there you go. Comment's
Yeah.
got it. It's Pixie.
Man, Monster Rancher was so dope. God. What a good
Yo, did
game.
you know that that had 3 seasons for the anime?
I didn't know that. I didn't know there was an anime of it. I just remember putting my CDs
I used
in
to
there.
watch that growing up. It was on Fox Kids. I
Oh,
used to
wow.
watch it before I went to school. And then when I thought what seemed to me like literally the end of the show, I found out later when I bought the DVD, it's like, oh no, that was the end of the first story arc. There's 3 seasons of it.
Jesus.
Monster Rancher was always one of the ones that came on kind of in the afternoon on a Saturday. So after I had spent 5 hours watching Saturday morning cartoons, the ones that mattered, I had to actually start my day, so I couldn't just
ones
keep
that
watching
mattered.
cartoons in the afternoon. Yeah, stuff like Shaolin Showdown, Jackie Chan Adventures,
Oh, wow.
stuff like that.
Those are weird shows to say the ones that mattered, because those are ones people don't remember very much. So,
Well, those are mine, right? Those are my childhoods. So.
For sure.
All right, if I'm gonna answer this Digimon one, I only really watched that like first season. I always liked, what was the little guy that like didn't evolve, and the little guy had, the little trainer had him, and then when it did evolve, it was a big angel. Was it just Angelmon?
that's Patamon. That was Ty's. No, TK's. That was TK's Pokemon.
Yeah, or Digimon.
Sorry, Digimon. God damn it.
You got to take a drink. When it evolved, it was like super powerful. That thing was cool. But I do remember this one episode. I actually don't think this was season 1. I think it was this Impmon guy that I looked up, and he wasn't like with the core crew. He just like bugged the core crew a bunch. He was not so much a bad guy, just like an annoying little dude. But there was this one episode where like, I can't remember if he had like these 2 kids that he was like fond of or something, and something happened, but he like needed to help, and he finally like evolved while holding this like toy gun, and he had this huge like blaster on his arm. I just remember it being like the coolest thing ever. It was like my favorite episode, but I can't remember most of it.
I'm
Some people in the chat seem to know what I'm talking about though, so this one's for you guys.
I wonder if you're looking at Devimon. No, let's see what else Devimon can turn
I
into.
think it was Devimon. I'm trying to look up this on this Digimon fandom wiki, but I don't fully remember. So someone is saying Beelzemon Blaster Mode. What is Beelzemon? Or is it Beelzemon? No, Beelzemon. Yeah, that's what it is. It is Beelzemon. Anyway, that was a cool episode.
Is that show worth looking at all?
Digimon?
Yeah.
I think they're about to come out with like a movie that is like, it brings back the first 2 characters again, like a serious movie's coming out.
I heard there's like 10 movies of that.
There's a lot. I remember that first movie, and it had that Bare Naked Lady song in it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It had like Steal My Sunshine and a bunch of other stuff.
I remember being into, I couldn't tell you anything that happens in that movie, but I remember watching it and being pretty into it at the time. Anyway, John, do you want to take this next question?
Sure. I'm sorry, I'm too busy looking at Digimon now.
That's
What
fair.
the hell are these things?
They're like Pokemon, but bad.
Wow.
Step that came first. For BGC Kenny, what detail of a game that has little to no bearing on the game itself but is indicative of the game you would be upset if they took out?
Oh, okay.
Wait, if it's indicative of the game, how can it have little to no bearing on the game?
Oh, I get it. It's like the bad dialogue from Symphony of the Night. It doesn't actually have any bearing on the game, but if it was gone, it would feel different.
Okay.
And then they did a retranslation, and I don't like it as much as the original. So that.
Okay.
Sure.
That's a good example.
That's my answer.
I mean, the one reason why I don't like the remake of Resident Evil as much is because of that dialogue and the delivery. So, kind of the same answer for a different game.
Oh shit, Beelzemon has a move called Corona Destroyer. We need him right now.
Shit.
Oh, geez. Holy smokes. That cannot be a coincidence.
It's not. It's a sign.
Yeah. It's the hero we need, but we do not deserve. Because we're not washing our hands, clearly. I don't have a great answer for this one, so let's move on.
Okay, Wolfman, no. Linebeck writes in and says, what would be your ideal Godzilla game? Shin Godzilla, the video game. God, that movie's so good. So gross.
Is there a way to make a good Godzilla game that isn't just like the Incredible Hulk game again?
That's a valid point, actually.
Like, I feel like
an open world Godzilla game, but it's about you destroying everything. So Hulk Ultimate Destruction, yeah.
Right. Like, I feel like most of like the character stuff is usually the people on the ground, not Godzilla itself. So like, I don't know what, like.
I mean,
I
they've
think-
already made like beat 'em up, like arena fighters, Godzilla themed. So like, I feel like they've already got that genre down.
I feel
there's
like there
that
could be
weird
something
PS4 one.
interesting in if you did play a civilian while there was like a Godzilla battle happening. I think there could be something there. And it's more, yeah, maybe. But then, I mean, you would want to be Godzilla though, right? You would want to
Yeah.
destroy some stuff.
You could do it like a Robot Alchemic Drive does it, where you're like the little boy controlling the giant robot fighting monsters. So you could have it so like you're like trying to control Godzilla, but also survive like all the damage you're causing.
I also feel like Godzilla is not very fast. It's pretty slow moving, which would not be very fun. At least the Hulk can like jump around fast. You know what I mean?
True.
That's hard.
What
That
if you
last
could just
Godzilla
upgrade-
movie was not good.
You could just upgrade Godzilla's speed, just make him fast.
Yeah, there you go.
He gets the abilities of all the other monsters, so he gets Mothra's ability to fly or float, and he gets some like Mecha Godzilla speed upgrade.
Wolfman Jack says,
Give me a Godzilla Metroidvania. That's what I want.
That's weird. The Good Dinosaur, also not a great movie. Kind of putting that out there. Wolfman Jack. For those of you who have seen both Detective Pikachu and the new Sonic movie, how would you compare them? Which was better movie overall? And which would you say staged truer to the source material? So, okay, who's here has seen both? I've seen both.
I've seen
I've
both.
seen neither.
Okay, so Paul and I.
We're on different
source
ends of this.
material-
You're gonna say Detective Pikachu. I'm gonna say Sonic. So
Well,
it's
I didn't
completely
actually think of it,
subjective.
but I was about to say that the source material is a little hard. I didn't play the Detective Pikachu game, so I'm just comparing it to Pokemon itself.
And yeah,
If we're
it's
if we're
an
being,
adventure
like,
that a kid goes on with a bunch of Pokemon in the world. Like, it's pretty true to the material.
Yeah, so I want to say the Pokemon one is closer to the material because Sonic goes to Earth, which that doesn't happen in the original games.
Okay, they don't catch any Pokemon though.
Yeah, they do. In the beginning, he tries to catch that Cubone.
That's it. Pokemon is literally about catching Pokemon, training them to become a Pokemon
But not everyone's
master.
a trainer.
Right. That's what I'm saying. That the source material, like, it's kind of not a Pokemon movie so much as Pokemon exist in this movie, in this world or whatever.
See, that's what I'm saying this is more, that's what I'm saying Sonic is. Sonic is more Sonic exists in our world, whereas the other one is in the Pokemon world.
Right.
So I feel like they have the edge.
I mean, Sonic has the different worlds he goes to. This one just takes place
Sure.
on Earth.
Right. So, okay, anyway, outside of the source material one, which one's better overall?
I had more fun in Sonic, but Detective Pikachu
Okay, and I
obviously
was gonna
took
say
more.
Detective Pikachu.
Took more work to do, probably. So, besides the remake, remaking the model for the main character, I guess. But
Yeah,
we're not.
I don't really know. I don't know which one would have taken more, but
it's completely subjective.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah,
obviously. That first half of the Detective Pikachu movie, where we're just kind of like living in the world, seeing the Pokemon in the environment, that was like the best.
Yep. It was very good.
And nothing in the Sonic movie came close to that for me, at least.
Yeah, I mean, I disagree. So that's why this question is like, this question is, what do you care more about? Do you care more about Pokemon or Sonic? That's your answer.
Sure. All right, John, you got this next one.
All right, next one comes to us from Gootangs. What does everyone on the show intend to eventually do with their collection? It seems unreasonable in 20 plus years to offload these easily. I'm planning to give my stuff to my daughter or donate it if she says no.
Same with what he says.
If I'm ever at a point where I'm just done collecting, I'm probably just going to sell it off just to have retirement money.
Interesting. Okay. So you're collecting just to say you did it?
I mean, God, I hate that you've got me doing this, but I do feel like a librarian of sorts with game collecting and knowledge. So it's been viable for my work and stuff like that.
Sure.
So
well, you could just say bury me with my games. Put them in the coffin.
Could.
Oh God.
Fill the coffin with my.
I feel I don't want to
games.
be that person like that gets their like grave robbed because they literally just put a bunch of expensive video games in the dirt with them.
Sure. Yeah, I haven't really thought about it too much. I would love, like in 20 plus years, I don't think I'm gonna want to get rid of them yet. I would love to live in a house or an apartment that is big enough where I can put a lot of them on the shelf, because right now they have to stay in bins in the closet because there's just no space.
Yeah.
And it's not even my closet; it's my mom's closet because I don't have any space. Yeah, I don't really plan to get rid of them. I don't know. I hopefully like hand them off to someone at someday, I guess, if I have no use for them. I'm sure I will get to a point where I will take a serious look at them and be like, does any of these games really hold any kind of value to me?
Yeah.
And if the answer, for example, the Golden Compass on Xbox 360, no,
right.
I will get rid of that game. They bring up a good point, though. In 20 plus years, unreasonable to offload them easily. Who's going to want some of these games 20 plus years from now? It might be hard to even play some of them. It's getting hard to play some like, Nintendo or N64 games now. I don't think my TV has the plugins, has like the 3-prong plugins anymore. You know what I mean?
For sure.
I mean, there's enough like clone systems and like upgraded systems that can play them at this point with HDMI. Like all my gear has been upgraded to HDMI for streams.
Right. Okay. So then what do you do with the gear? Do you still have it? The old
I still have my original stuff, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well then just switch the question to that. What do you do with that?
Right now just kind of keep it as like a memorial kind of thing. It's just like for the memories. And I do have them hooked up to a different TV that does have those inputs, but so they still work, but I can see your point. Yeah, like
yeah, the person you're offloading, good chance they won't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yep.
I'll just blow myself up with all my games.
Whoa. All right.
It's one way to do it, I guess.
We'll all go out in a fire.
Damn. That escalated.
Together forever.
Last question from Matthew. Hey TDP, what are the weirdest subreddits, YouTube channels, Twitter accounts, etc. you're willing to admit you follow? I'm trying to think of the weirdest.
I follow a Twitter account that just tweets Japanese porn titles.
Yes, Jav titles. Oh, it's so good.
It's hilarious.
It's so
beyond
good.
Ridiculous and hilarious.
Sometimes there's a few titles that I'm just like, that's actually disgusting.
Oh, a lot of them are disgusting. A lot of them are very disgusting.
Some of them are really, really bad.
Yeah.
I started following one that tweets out. So Letterboxd is a social media that you can like do little reviews or blurbs about movies you've seen and like check into them.
I follow this one. Is it like bad Letterboxd reviews?
Yeah, something like that. So that's a recent one. That's really good. I don't think I follow any weird Reddits.
I think it was a Letterboxd review, and the review was something just like, it was for like Moonrise Kingdom, a movie I love, and it was like, Wes Anderson just wants to fuck the color yellow, and I think we should let him. That was the review.
Okay, yeah, it's Insane Letterbox is the and it's Insane Letterboxd Reviews is the one I'm talking about.
I think I do follow that one. I follow a subreddit called Fuck My Shit Up, which is just bad haircuts people have gotten.
That's pretty good. Okay.
Yep.
I don't think I follow any weird subreddits.
Yeah, most of the stuff is like joke kind of stuff.
Sure.
Those are the ones I can think of.
Yeah, man, I got nothing.
All right. Then that will do it for questions this week. If you want to send in a question next week, it is topdownperspective@gmail.com, at TDP Podcast on Twitter, the Discord channel, or John's P.O. Box. What is your game of the week?
Division 2 Warlords of New York.
1980X.
I guess I'll give it to Borderlands 3. Sure, why not? All right. Right after this, we are recording our Temtem episode live. So if you're the correct tier of our Patreon, you can tune into that. Otherwise, look for the audio version later. Also, the poll for our March game has finished, and we will be playing through and discussing Murder by Numbers at the end of the month. Pretty exciting stuff. The Ace Attorney fans came out in full force to win it only by one vote, though, I should say. So
it was a close one, yeah.
It was a close one for sure. Anyways, that'll do it for this week. So we'll see you guys next week. Later.